Hello and welcome to the early access of Ravenswatch. It's a new game by Passtech Games, the same company who made Curse of the Dead Gods, which is a fantastic game, and I'm pretty excited to keep playing through this. I was in the closed alpha doing a bit there, and now with it being more open to everybody, should be a lot of fun. We're gonna get access to the second act, which before they only had the first one out, so now we get to see the second one. There's gonna be more heroes, all kinds of good stuff, blah blah blah. Let me show you what's going on so you can decide for yourself whether or not this is a game you would like to get. So, as I said, it is a roguelike game. If you're not familiar with roguelikes, they are a type of game where it is randomized each time. So the map will be a little different each time. The upgrades and things that you get on your run are not permanent. Once you complete the run, either by winning or losing, those things go away. They're temporary. And so then you start a new run with new stuff, and each experience should be a little different. And the style of this game is a Fable and Legends focus. So you'll notice with the heroes, as well as the environments, the enemies, everything is focused around that. The heroes that you have right now, there are 6 of them. You have Beowulf, the Pied Piper, Scarlet or Little Red Riding Hood, the Snow Queen, Aladdin, and Melusine. So you have a bunch of, heroes from fairy tales, and they're all very unique, very fun to play. It's hard for me to say which one is my favorite or which one I like the most or like the least, because they are all a blast to play and they're very unique. And to help them in their uniqueness is their skills. Like, everybody has a unique kind of passive skill that is specific to them. So Scarlet, Little Red Riding Hood, is a werewolf, and she transforms into a werewolf at night, which the game has a day and night cycle. So she will play as a sort of roguelike character during the day when she is Little Red Riding Hood, and then at night when she transforms into the wolf, she becomes more of a brawling, fightery type of style player, where the Pied Piper is a mobile, ranged type of character who is summoning rats and using abilities as he moves. And then Beowulf is your typical type of warrior guy. Aladdin is very mobile, range damage, kind of icy combo dealer. Melusine is just weird but super fun, possibly my favorite. So the heroes to me are the biggest drawing point for this, like getting the different styles of play. In addition to that, it is a multiplayer game, so you can play by yourself. Like, I've only played by myself, but if you were interested, you could invite some friends or join some friends and play with them. You could play with up to 4 people, including yourself. So if you want to do that, you just hit join session, input the code, which you can find right there, and then you join their session. In addition, for those who do enjoy playing roguelikes and you like winning and then getting more and more of a challenge, it does have increasing difficulty. So each time you win, the difficulty is unlocked. So right now I'm at Nightmare 6, but it goes up to 9. Now we'll go ahead and get some gameplay in there. We are going to hit random because I don't know who I want to play right now. And we're going to go at it. We're going to go hit normal. 2 acts are out right now. I'm only going to show the first act, I think, just to keep the video kind of short and give you guys an idea of what the game is like. So let's ready it. Okay, so we got Pied Piper. I really like him. So when you start off in a little safe zone. It's where you meet the Sandman. He's your merchant. You're going to collect a currency during the game, little dream shards, and you can use them with him in order to buy items or upgrade your skills. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the screen, what we got going on. You have your level down at the bottom left. As you defeat enemies, complete events, you level up and up and up, and each time you level up, you get to choose upgrades. You have your HP to the right of that. Obviously, if your HP goes all the way to 0, your character is dead. But it's not quite the end as long as you have Raven's feathers, right? Now, to the right of your HP bar, you have different stats, right? This heart one is your vitality. That influences how much maximum HP you have. So the higher your vitality, the higher your maximum HP. The sword is your damage. The higher that number is, the more damage you deal. And the shield is armor. So the higher the armor value is, the less damage you take. And the last one right here is dream shards. So you collect dream shards, you can use them as currency. Not just at our friend the Sandman here, there are some interactables in the world that require dream shards. Now in the center we have our character skill bar. So there's a little friendly Pied Piper icon. You've got his trait, which if we hit tab, you can pull it up. Side note, you can play with a controller. I've been playing mouse and keyboard because specifically the Pied Piper to me is much easier to play on the mouse and keyboard, but if you much prefer the controller, you can absolutely use that. It works just as well, just as snappy. The key bindings and stuff felt very good to me. I had no issues with it outside of moving and aiming with the Pied Piper. Literally, it was just for him. So you've got his trait, where he spawns the rats, right? Everybody gets a trait, and when I activate them on the Pied Piper, the rats go and attack. My left click is your basic attack. Everybody has a basic attack. I play the flute, and I send out magical notes that deal damage. Then I have the power ability. Everybody has a power ability that is going to deal damage. So sends out waves of notes, dealing a bunch of damage. Then you have the special. His special is going to make enemies vulnerable inside of it. Some of the other characters, their specials are going to do damage or some other effect. And then you have a defensive ability. Everybody's defensive ability is literally that. It is to be defensive. So whether it's like Scarlet, who goes intangible and avoids all damage, or you use Pied Pipers, who stuns and pushes back everybody around him. They're all different, but they are all for protecting your character. The last one is the ultimate. We don't get that until we hit level 5. On the right of our skill bar are the Raven's Feathers. So as long as you have Raven's Feathers and you drop to 0, you can use one to respawn and come right back and keep trying. Now I believe in multiplayer everybody shares them. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Then you have a mini map. It shows you the icons. The icons tell you what's there on the map. It also gives you an idea of where you're going and where you're at in relation to everything else, right? Just like a map. Bottom right is a day-night counter. It's like a clock, I guess. The game will cycle through day and night. You have 3 days to defeat the final boss, so as time goes on, it is going to move into night and then into day. And you can tell where you are in the day based on the little icon and the timer. Once you hit 24 minutes, you are going to fight the boss whether you are ready or not, because he has woken up and you must defeat the Master Nightmare. Now let's look at our upgrade and just show you some gameplay. Alright, so you get 2 choices. I have Sound Barrier and Freezing Trap. So this one's a quest. You do the quest, you get more bonuses, right? And then Freezing Trap, when I use my special, the enemies are chilled and take more damage. I think I will take Sound Barrier. I like Sound Barrier a lot. The extra armor and then the shield just really adds a lot of survivability. So let's get going.
To learn a new song.
Now if you notice, as soon as we leave that, the timer started. We got a big warning. He's going to wake up in 4 days. There we go. And we see some of our first enemies. Now there is a dash ability as well. If you notice to the right of my HP bar, once I dash, there's a little icon and it recharges. The dash does not make you invulnerable, so if you're used to having invulnerability while you're like rolling or dodging, you will not get that. It is a positioning tool to avoid the attacks before they're actually like out, right? So you cannot just use it to react and dodge into an attack. You need to be using it proactively in response to what the enemy is going to do. We use the rats. Here they go. Alright. These big things are dream shards. This is where we can collect a bunch of them in order to use with the Sandman. Now we're currently going towards one of those chest things on the map. That is a chest. It has items in there. And as we go in here, there are these large like camps that have the items and other things to interact with. They are like kind of like events, I guess you might say. And once we defeat the enemies here, we will have an opportunity to open the chest and get the goodies. So we open it up and we get items. So we can get damage to enemies for negative effects, healing, or little thumb pebbles. We're going to do that one. Now, one thing you might notice, as I mentioned before, there is a day and night cycle. And with Little Red, she transforms into a werewolf at night. But she's not the only character who has interactions with the cycle. with Pied Piper, his basic attack changes. So now my attacks are purple and they actually pierce through enemies. They don't do as much damage, but they do go through multiple enemies. It's really nice. So you can play around that and interact and do different things with the game based on the time of day it is.
I, for one, didn't feel a stretch.
I need to be better about this game. Now the enemies as well, they will also adjust based on the time of day. So these tree guys, they leave out little spiders, but only at night. During the day, they won't drop anything at all. So the enemies change depending on the time of day as well. It's pretty neat.
Heed my call, one and all.
Go, Dr. Now, something to keep in mind. I'm taking a lot of hits. My guy earlier, I was taking a lot of hits as well. You do not want to do that because some of the attacks these enemies do deal a lot of damage. You cannot just sit and take damage. You need to be careful. So the game is all about positioning. The first time I played this during the alpha, my first run lasted all of like a couple minutes. And see how much health I just lost right there? I'm already really low. So my first run was like a very rude awakening because I just was not aware of the scale of damage and everything. So, something else to keep in mind here. If you watch these enemies, particularly this big Banshee, watch when I use my defense. A big bar starts filling up underneath her health bar. That is what I would call a break bar. I'm not sure what the actual term is in this game. But certain enemies will have that. And when you fill that up, they are staggered or stunned and do not act for a few seconds while you can just deal damage to them. The other big part of that is some enemies, like that Banshee, have extra armor as long as their bar is unbroken. So, for enemies like her, you really want to try and break it so that you can deal a good amount of damage. Whew, look at that damage. Whoa. Alright, so I'm probably going to go down here in just a moment because there is a lot going on here. And, oh, no I'm not, I leveled up. When you level up, you get full HP back, so it can be very clutch. Just like that, because I probably would have gone down and used one of my Raven Feathers. Though I will try and do that here pretty soon so you guys can see what happens. Alright, when you go down, you will consume a Raven Feather, you get a choice. And if you want to, you can do it. If not, wait for somebody to help you or something. So we're going to use it, and then I get picked back up, and I get to choose where I want to go. Now I waited way too long there, and the enemies have like reset. Normally you would just jump right back into the fight and just continue on your way. Keep beating them. Now you may be thinking to yourself, man, I'm way up here and I would like to go back down there. That's a lot of walking. Well, you can use one of these little raven nests and travel to any other raven nest that you found, or over there by the Sandman. It's pretty nice. It can save you a lot of time and it helps out when you're trying to do certain events. Maybe you just don't want to do something yet, and so you want to come back to it later. Alright, so this is a special type of event, so where you can fight a boss. It's locked by a door. We need a key in order to open it. So as you go through, you could find a key, go in there and defeat a boss for a rare item. Now at any point, if you're curious about what your skills did or your upgrades and stuff, you could always open it up, take a look at your items, and it'll give you a little heads up on what they all do. Alright, we found a key, so now we could actually go back and open that cave door. Alright, so after defeating some enemies, we get to the end of this like cave, and we're going to fight a boss. We go through the boss, we get a special item. Or a rare item. Ah, that was close. Well, it wasn't close, he got me. Ah, Jesus. There you go, come on, come on, come on. Ow.
These are desperate times.
Shield up. Damn it.
Heed my call, one and all.
Almost got him. There we go. Alright. Mini boss defeated. Collect an item. So, something to note. Some items are cursed, so they have powerful effects, but they have negatives as well. So this one could make our dash intangible, but any damage we take is increased. The bad thing was this one, so that would be a lot of constant healing, but we're gonna do it. Let's try it. You notice each time a day passes, we get a little notification that says the Master Nightmare will awaken in X amount of days. And you can see that on the bottom right as well, like how many days you have left. So as soon as that goes away, as soon as that's out in full, that's it, we're gonna have to fight. And at any point, if you really wanted to, on the map, you can see at the bottom right is a little icon. That is for the Master Nightmare. So if we really wanted to, we could go there right now and fight him. Now, if you look on the mini-map right now, as we go through this little encampment, the little icon for this Dream Shard place it's outlined in green. Now, that's to show us the difficulty of it. Green being easy, yellow, orangish being kind of tough, and then red being dangerous, tough. So not all of the places are made equally. Some of them are more difficult, some are more dangerous. If this zone right here is a red one, if you notice the icon is red, these guys kind of stink. The spiders are stronger. Those enemies right there will heal them. Very frustrating. Ooh, that's close. Go through, go through, go through. And you can see that piercing enemies effect was doing a lot of work there. Which is fantastic. The daytime note effect is really good because it just does so much more damage and can do a lot if you get up close and shotgun blast them. But man, hitting multiple people with the Pied Piper is really fun. It's just the numbers. It's fun to see the numbers, you know? Uh-oh. No! Wow. Oh, there's a lot of enemies. A lot of enemies. Boom. Okay, now we're full damage again. Alright, so another red one. Let's see what we got. We can do it. Dodging through. Positioning is key. Play defensive if you have to, right? That was something I learned in Curse of the Dead Gods. You know, it doesn't matter how much damage you deal if you are just dead. Doesn't matter at all. So do what you can. Take your shots where you're able to. Don't push it. Go. Look at them, boys. Nice. See, clean. Very good. Alright, if we look at the timer, we are at 19 minutes. The timer is always 24 minutes is where we're out of time. So we have about 5 minutes left to continue exploring through the map, collecting upgrades, level up, blah blah blah. So we need to make sure that we are ready to go once that happens. And we've just hit level 5, so now we have reached our final upgrade. Alright, upgrade. Unchained Melody. So we'll play a whole bunch of notes and we will be moving very quickly the entire time. We have to move, that is part of the effect. But that's okay, because it's pretty good. We also have a whole bunch of Dream Shards. We're gonna buy some things once we're out of here. Alright guys. Alright, we're going to use our ultimate here. Here we go. Look at those notes go. And the cool thing was his ability, is it is affected by the day and night cycle. So, if we play it during the day, the notes are harder, but they don't pierce multiple enemies. Whereas we played it at night, and so now the attacks go through all the enemies. Pretty helpful. I like it a lot. I'm stuck. I'm going to die. Alright, we need to fast travel back to the guy. There we go. Whoop. Alright, we gotta get rid of the healer, because that is pretty obnoxious. There we go. Whoop. Go. One thing that's nice as well, in mini games when you have enemies that drop like little minion guys, the effects don't count against them. But what's good in this one, our defensive ability does trigger off of all the little minion guys that summon. So it's a really nice thing. I like that. I appreciate that a lot. So now we're at the Sandman, we can buy some upgrades and skills and stuff. So we're going to increase our rat damage, make our defense explosive blast deal even more. Extra damage is good. More maximum health is going to be nice. Crit chance, increased crit damage, more armor. We're just buying all the things. We've got a ton of shards I can use. You know what? Let's do 1, 2, 3. Let's do that. Alright. Well, there's no point waiting anymore. There's not very much time left at all. We have a minute. So we might as well just go ahead and go down and fight the boss. Fighting enemies isn't going to help us. We don't get XP because our level is maxed. And I'm not going to be able to do any other events and stuff. So here we go. Alright, here we are. Final boss time. Let's just send the rats. Oh, look at that. Alright, we're gonna have to dodge all these abilities. Dodge. It's down. Head. Dodging, dodging, dodging. Ooh, owie, owie. Come on. Do it. Oh, I need to get out of that too. Move quick. Okay, here we go. Get through. Alright, staggered him. Let's go.
May the requiem begin.
This is a good amount of damage. Alright, keep it up. Trying to avoid all this. Alright, we don't want to take any extra damage. I am getting hit by one dude a lot, or the little tentacles, which is really unfortunate. Dodging these. I'm not doing a very good job. That's okay. Down. The unfortunate thing is, too, while I am getting health back for hitting these guys, I'm not getting anything from the healing orbs that they drop a lot. So, alright, here we go. Doing as much damage as we possibly can. It'll probably take another round to bring him down, but the good news is we will have an ultimate ready to use. And as long as we keep playing carefully, we will be able to get ourselves healed up really nicely. As long as I can avoid hitting any of these. Moving away, moving away, moving away. There we go. Now, something to notice too, we notice it with all the basic enemies, but there are very clear just like indicators for when the enemy is going to attack. So you notice these tentacles right there. Big wind up, that's your tell that hey, I'm about to try and slap you. And the same thing even with the boss here in the center. If you are close enough and can pay attention, you'll notice that he's doing big wind ups for his attack. Finish him off so we can do the damage and we do it. We win. So there it is. There it is, Act 1. Now I thought they were going to add in... Oh, it's not out yet. So I thought that they were going to add in the Act 2 now. That was a mistake on my part. So right now it is still only Act 1, which is a little bit of a bummer. And I kind of wondered if it was because we could only go to 5. But yeah, it will be available as early access expands. Okay, so right now there is only that first act. So maybe if you want to wait a little bit to get to wait until the next act is available, like maybe that seems pretty reasonable. It looked like it was on sale for right now, as it just came on early access today. So yeah, pick for yourself. That's what the game is like. You get different heroes, stats at the end. It tells you how you did, time, and all that stuff, right? And you get a score as well. And in a somewhat typical roguelike thing, there are some permanent upgrades you get. So as you rank up your heroes, you get access to new upgrades. We obviously did not rank up, so we didn't get any new upgrades. But I'm already level 4, which means a bunch of the things that you saw me use, I didn't have access to immediately. So you do get stuff for playing the game that is permanent to your character. And you also unlock objects, which I did get. So the Vorpal Blade, which is pretty nice. I hadn't seen that one before. Okay, yeah, there you have it. That is the game. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed it, give you an idea of what the gameplay is actually like and whether or not you would be interested in it. I'm really excited to see the rest of the heroes, to see like the next act, the final one, final bosses, all that stuff. It's going to be pretty awesome, I think. They did a great job with Curse of the Dead Gods. I'm sure they're going to do a great job with this one. So, take a look at it. Decide for yourselves. Thanks for watching.